criminal case, we argue that this is different because what this individual was doing literally within the same 24 hours at the same place and so forth, not being admitted to defame his character, but to show what his state of mind was, what his psychotic state was when he entered the F train at 2 p.m. on May 1st, 2023, right before this incident. So we'll see how that goes in the civil case.
Let's talk about Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
You know, he did an interview with Fox Nation yesterday and Janine Pirro. What is his state of mind going forward, and what is he doing going forward? Because you can't be anonymous anymore if you're Daniel Penny, at least not for a long time.
No, and look, that's a tough thing for him. I mean, and a point that he made in that interview yesterday. But you know, I've obviously had many conversations with him, myself, and Stephen Razor over the last 18 months. And you know, this is not somebody who was seeking the limelight. I mean, one of the statements that you know, one of the things I said in my opening statement was true is that this was an architectural student living an ordinary life, going to the gym. You know, he had absolutely never wanted to come to the cross section of Jordan Neely where he had to act as protector. And, you know, he's not looking for fame. He's not looking for celebrity now. He's actually very, very uncomfortable with it. We went to lunch yesterday after we taped that interview, and people are coming up into the restaurant. People are trying to pick up the check for us. And it's just not something that he ever sought out. It's not something he's comfortable with. But yeah, I mean, you can't unring the bell, for better or worse, so it's going to take some time. But he wants to get back on track, wants to get back in school, wants to continue his degree and pursue his dreams of becoming an architect.
Some people are blowing back a little bit with the partying after the verdict was given. Do you regret taking pictures, having him in a situation like that?
Absolutely
the
not.
optics.
No optics. The optics are this is an individual who, you know, through no fault of his own, who actually was acting to protect. You know, he's in the prime of his 20s. You know, what we were all doing when we were 24, 25, 26, right? I guarantee you we weren't living under the threat of a felony indictment and a state prison sentence. Let's go back a few years, 18 to 22, you know, when guys like me were hanging out at keg parties and what most Americans are doing at that age. He's, you know, sleeping in berths, you know, forward to a wall at sea deployment serving his country. So you know what, he had every right to have a couple of pints after this verdict.
I don't think that's what people are criticizing, though. I think people are criticizing, probably a lot of people are pointing finger at you as the attorneys to take him out right after the trial, after someone died, even though he got off, you know, or was found not guilty. I shouldn't say got off. And I think a lot of people sympathized with him and said, hey, this is a situation that just went wrong. A lot of New Yorkers look at it like that. But I think people, when someone dies, don't want to see people celebrating immediately following. If you have a party, maybe do it in private or maybe a little bit later. That's the criticism, at least that I've heard. Well, do you accept any responsibility for that, or do you feel that way at all?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'd say that the criticism is quite misguided. And those individuals should experience what it's like for 18 months to live under the threat of, again, you know, one of the most well-resourced, in this case, the way they approach this prosecution, ferocious prosecutors in the country, and to spend 6 weeks where you can't leave the courthouse during lunch and you're eating the same deli sandwiches every day because just getting into the building is what it is. He was acquitted. He should have never been charged. It's very tragic. Someone died, but my client had nothing to do with why Jordan Neely decided to enter that subway train and start threatening men, women, and children.